Good morning, afternoon, and evening from wherever you are joining us today. My name is Rashmita, and I'm the event planner for Microsoft Reactor India. This session will run over the next 60 minutes, including Q&A. But before we begin, please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We are all here to learn together, so please be respectful of other people's views, understanding of differences, being kind and considerate in the way you engage. The chat section will be open throughout, and we do encourage you all to participate. I would now like to welcome Swami, our speaker for today's session. He is an aspirant software architect and currently works at Applied Information Sciences. He loves to learn about new technologies, but for now, let me bring him into the stream.
Hey
Hey, hi
Rashmita,
Swami. How are you
greetings of the
doing?
day. How are you?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing good. Thanks so much.
And so, over to you. You can start the presentation for today.
Thank you so much. Hey guys, today we are going to discuss on getting started with Azure OpenAI Studio. This is the session one of series of sessions which we will be doing on OpenAI. We'll be doing mini projects and a lot of things. Rashmita, if you don't mind, could you please paste the first URL, the GitHub link? This is my GitHub link, guys, and this is the link for today's session. This has got the demo script as well as other information which I put it. Rashmita, could you please post both the links on the YouTube? Okay. So this is the one, getting started with Azure OpenAI Studio. And let me tell you that I'm still a learner, so apologize if I do any mistake. And I'm 2 months old in AI, ML, and data analytics. I just started recently on this one. What are we going to do today? I'll quickly walk you through this one. Please fasten your seatbelt. So first we will look at a little bit about machine learning or artificial intelligence, not more than 30 seconds on those two topics. And then we'll come back and we'll see that what Azure OpenAI is. And then we'll see how to create the Azure OpenAI service in Azure portal. And then we will see how do we deploy the models in Azure AI Studio, and what is this Azure AI Studio, how to play with it, and try a couple of built-in completions using the Azure AI Studio. And then we'll understand what these tokens are, and try a couple of completions using, I mean, our own completions. I mean, we'll try. I mean, this is what few things I have piled it up, but we'll try our own. We'll see how we'll play, and also we'll use this Postman tool to do this completion. Okay, so without further delay, let's come and see this one. I will just spend not more than 10-20 seconds on this one because I don't want to derail the existing session. Like if you see this picture here, like artificial intelligence is at the bigger circle where it behaves as an intelligent and behaves like a human, and machine learning is part of that, focuses on enabling the tasks, and deep learning is again a subset of machine learning. And 1 second. uh, so um, this is, we discussed about like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the deep learning. And what is a model? Just we are we're learning just enough things for us to keep moving. Machine learning model is a file. You see that will take a training data and train it so that it will be performing its job. So if you see, a machine learning model is a file that has been already trained. So if you train it with enough data and test the precision of output what it is giving, and then we will deploy. Sometimes what happens is we will not train enough, so we will not get the exact results with those models. So again, we have to retrain those models. Okay, so that is the max we will discuss about the theory stuff. Now we will see a couple of things here. First thing is we will look into what this what is this OpenAI. First, we'll come from that. What is this OpenAI? So the OpenAI is a company which has created this one. Just give me 1 minute, actually. Okay, so see this. So let me come back to this overview. So this platform was created by this OpenAI company. So if you go to the documentation, we will see this can be applied virtually to anything. So we will be switching between, for the documentation or for setting up the concepts, we will be switching in between. So it has got its own subscription where we can go and use it, like Chat GPT. Even if you go to Chat GPT, that is part of this OpenAI itself. So Azure OpenAI, we'll see that what is the difference between Azure OpenAI and the services in a minute. So first, let me come to this. What is this Azure OpenAI service? So the OpenAI service, which is from the OpenAI platform, has been provided as one of the cognitive services under Azure. Okay, so we have few models, and we'll see how can we use those models, how can we create all those things. We will get into that one. Now, if you compare one more bulleted point is, I mean, a lot of documentation is there. Just I'm touching a 30,000 foot view, what it is. Okay, Azure OpenAI Service gives customers that wants one more layer on top of this uh, Azure OpenAI. I will show that in a minute. Okay, and the second thing is we need to understand the quotas and limits. It is very, very important to understand what is this quotas and limits. Assume that you are hitting a API, you're sending a request, and if that response of that API can give you maximum of 1 MB of data, you have to definitely understand that what is that you're asking. So you need to be within the limits. What is the max limit which can come out of that? So similarly, this Azure API gateways or API management, those will also have the quotas, rate limiting, whether in terms of number of requests or in terms of the content, number of bytes. So we need to be very, very careful before we go and pounce on it and start using it. So we need to understand the limits, the rate. And another important concept is the models. I mean, this is the first session. So we'll again and again we will come and we will revisit all these things. Okay. So these are few of the models like DALI, Chat GPT models. Okay, and different kind of models are there, and we discussed that what model is. It's a file which has been already pre-trained. Okay, so that is just like 30,000 and above view of that one. Now let's come to the world of Azure OpenAI world. So the first thing I would like to show you is, if you go to Azure portal, you need to come to cognitive services. So from here, I come to cognitive service. Wherever you are, we can come to the cognitive service. So from cognitive services, we can come here and click on create. It will come and you have to choose what is your resource group. And right now, the Azure OpenAI service is available in few regions. If you have access to that, you can create within those regions, and it's a single payment slot. It is standard S0. So right now that's the only thing which it is available with. So that's as simple as that. Now if you see in the cognitive services, you have Azure OpenAI, speech, language, vision, decision, a lot of things are there. So in this left navigation, you will have Azure OpenAI. So either we can create this Azure OpenAI right from the overview pane of cognitive service, or we can come here into Azure OpenAI and we can create it. So already created a couple of months ago. So that is this one. So when I click this, it will open this window. Okay, so this is how Azure OpenAI looks. So you can see these models, the pricing tier. Right now it is only one pricing tier, and based on the selection, as I was mentioning, it's only one pricing tier. So we don't have multiple pricing tiers. And inside this, you can develop and you can deploy the models. That we will definitely come and do that, but little later. But at least for first 4 sessions, we'll be spending enough time to play with Azure AI Studio and then use the Python notebooks, Python, individual Python files, C Sharp, and a Postman tool to interact. So this is day one or first session in series of sessions. We'll be spending time on Azure AI Studio as well as in the Postman. So all we need to do is come to this cognitive service, go to Azure OpenAI and click on Azure OpenAI. Okay, it's the same thing. So I just opened it in a different tab so that you know that how did we navigate to that one. So cognitive services here, and once we click, it will be this one, Azure OpenAI Dev 001. This is what I created. And from this, I clicked on Explore. Once I click on Explore, that's where it opens up this studio. So it will ask me the resource because it has been enabled on one particular subscription. So it will come and it will deploy. This is what the Azure OpenAI Studio. So we can click right from this overview pane, or we can come in here and we can create. Once you create, this is how it looks. And now next thing is we have the studio, and how do I play with it? Okay, so the first thing, we need a model. We need a model with which we can speak. So first we'll see what models are available, and for that we can come in here to understand what kind of models are there, why it is useful, and all those things we can come and know from here. Okay, I'll keep this on and come back over here. You can see this one. The version is also very, very important, but it will be little bit tricky. I would like to show that in a minute. Maybe in 30 minutes from now, I'll show that. So if you see, there are different models. If you see text data 001 and text DaVinci and text DaVinci 003. So there are a lot of these models are available for us, so which we can deploy. So first thing, we need to come to this deployments. Let's do one deployment. So I already deployed text DaVinci 003. So I have to select which model I want to deploy. So text DaVinci 003 is already deployed. So this time I will deploy something else. Maybe text DaVinci 002 or text Babbage 001 just for that. So I will select that, the same name, and I'll call it as dev001. Okay. In advanced options, it can we can specify the rate limits as well as content filter. We'll see the content filter. Even I have seen about the content filter 20 minutes ago. So not much experiments I did on that one, but it's going to come. So whether we are specifying the request user prompts or the response which is coming out of the model. So these are some of the content filters. If someone wants to harm himself and asking, hey, can you tell me how can I harm? So we can put it like it's a high flag. Don't accept any user inputs of that kind and don't give any response of that kind. So it's coming in. I didn't experiment, but all I saw 20 minutes ago when I came here. So we deployed this model. So very important thing to note here is the deployment name. I will show you why it is very important. Because in prompts, when you're using prompts here in this one, so what they will ask is they will ask the deployment name. They call it as a deployment name, but technically it is the deployment name. They will ask like a model name. If you see that completion model, that's what they will tell. But it's not this model. It is the deployment name. That's what is required in that one. And apart from that, you will see model version, but the version which we are putting it here is entirely different. So do not confuse yourself with this model version with the model version which you have to input when you're interacting with the APIs. Okay. Rest of the things is the capacity and also the model deployment date it has given and a little bit of rate limit, some information it has given. Okay. So that's the second point which we have, third point which we have discussed. So we uh, started with what OpenAI is, what is Azure OpenAI, and then we came and saw how to create these OpenAI services from cognitive service as well as from the left nav Azure OpenAI. We'll be able to see that. And once we come to this Azure OpenAI, we are exploring the first piece. I mean, we can develop as well as deploy. That comes once we do at least minimum 2 to 3 projects will be good enough playing around with this and programming. And we saw how to deploy that. Now we'll start playing around with Azure AI Studio. So one of the thing which I would like to show you here is we have very good documentation, pretty good documentation. So how do you play with Azure AI Studio? That information they have given, and suppose you want to do only the REST API. You want to communicate with the Postman tool or curl or those kind of programming things. You can still go and do this one. This is for the Python. But what it is important is how do you get your inputs created. That's what is very important. Okay. So one important thing I wanted to highlight here is the API version. So you see that. So the API version, we should not. I mean, I was confused. I'm not telling that you guys are confused, but when I was experimenting first time on this one, I was real confused. I failed couple of times. Maybe 1 hour I was trying. I'm giving the right model version, but it was throwing error on my face. So this model version is for the deployment, but whereas when you're interacting with this, whether it is through the REST API or whether through the programming, other programming ways, but we have to ensure that you are hitting the right version, which is already there in the documentation, but just wanted to highlight that. And here, another thing is deployment name. In some of the programming constructs which I was looking at, it mentioned it as deployment name. So, which I was really confused with the model name. But the deployment name is it is asking this. Okay. So, that's one thing. And another important thing, you can program it in different programming languages, and we'll come and we'll see at these keys and other things. But as of today, we will play completely in the Azure Studio itself. So let me come to this studio again. I'll go back to the Azure OpenAI Studio. So once we come to this Azure OpenAI Studio, it will be like this. Okay, getting started, they have the chart playground, completion playground. We can bring our own data. DALI. DALI is pretty cool. I'll show one simple, I mean, it's not, we are starting now, DALI. We'll come back to DALI, but I really like its imagination. So we'll go and play around this completions now. So here we have two deployments. We have text Babbage, Dev001, and we have text DaVinci. So this is my favorite dish. Dosa is A. And I click on generate. Now it says that dosa is a type of pancake. It's giving a lot of information, and it says that it's served with variety of fillings such as potatoes, onions, and spices. It stopped in between because of the tokens. I said that use maximum of 100 tokens. So if I bump up these tokens to 150, and one more thing is it has already created it. Now if I try to generate this one, sometimes it throws error here. Sometimes it throws error saying that unable to generate. Now it has completely generated. And if you forget to remove that content, what it has generated, it throws this error. So what we have to do is we have to delete the existing output which it has created. And again, we will click on this one. Now this time it is giving a little bit different as of as far as I analyze this content. It has given a very shorter this thing because it assumed that we want something shorter. It didn't give that much of information, 5 to 6 sentences. And the important thing is max tokens. Tokens is charged. We'll come back. There is a separate section on tokens. Now, if I use the text Babbage to tell me something about what is dosa. Dosa is a word meaning is a type of Indian bread or dish made from a type of Indian bread. See this. So it is not that the model is wrong. Okay. It could be I didn't provide it enough information to generate the output, or the content with which it was trained is not enough. So that is the reason different models they put into production or the preview, and then they come and update it again. So now see this, those eyes. Now this time it is again coming in, and I'll tell you why every time it is different. So South Indian and Sri Lankan Tamils, and also in Malaysia, Singapore, United Kingdom, United States, Canada, Australia. Oh, those are is spread across the world. Happy to know that. It's making me feel hungry. Now, that's about different models. So we spoke about two things. Different models will give different input, and when it gives the input which is not matching our expectation, so we have to, that's where the prompt engineering skill set will come. The prompt engineering is the third session. This is the first. Second, we will play with programming languages, then we'll come back to the prompt engineering, and again programming languages with that. So we know, we understood what different models we deployed, and the same question is being dealt with different way using different models. That's how it was trained. So looks like the text DaVinci 3 has got enough training, so it's giving good information. Okay, imagine a scenario like you went to the street fight, you don't know anything on martial arts, you might be beaten black and blue, and now you learned some of the kicks and punches, and again go back to the street fight. At least you might not be beaten black and blue, you might get few beatings here and there. Now you learn kicks and punches along with nunchuck and other uh, weapons, so you'll be good enough, not even a single hit and you'll come back. So that's how you need to train the model again and again. So based on the previous training, it learns that. Okay, that being said, once you come to the playground, we understood that we can select different models. Different models might give different outputs. It's not that one output is wrong and one output is good. It could be the way we prompted it, it didn't understand, or it was not trained with the data which we are asking. Okay, and another thing is max tokens is plays a very important role that we will see in the Postman tool when we are doing. Now see this, there are built-in samples of different things, like summarize an article. Let's see one or two here. Now this is the entire thing, and I say generate. It might generate or it might not, because this itself is 300 tokens, and it didn't listen to me. It's going ahead and generating the output. Okay, because this max token should be always on top of our mind, because that's what triggers the billing. So let me bump up the max tokens to 500. Okay, so again go back and remove the content it generated and click on generate, and this time it is generating different thing. I'll show you what is the factor which it is making it to generate. So this is one example. See, already it consumed 434. Every token I'm getting billed. Okay, so now let's see a good email. Okay, so we can say that what should be the subject line and other things, but I'm just want to show you stuff real quick. So that's the reason I'm not focusing anything on that one, but it generated some text and it is producing the output. So like this, we have a lot of tips, inputs which it is giving. Based on that, we can go ahead and generate. So this one, okay, we'll do that. This is one good. Okay, let's do the same one on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 to 10. This 5, you are eating at our hotel. Okay, this is the inputs. So I'm calling this as inputs, and here I'm giving Uh, Please translate the below in French, Tamil, and okay. Please, I'm asking, this is the input. Please translate the same sentence in French, Tamil, and Japanese. So it does the translation. In Japanese also, it translated. Okay. So for the time being, what I will do is I will take this out, and or else I'll put it in a notepad, and let's take the Tamil version of this and put this back here, and let me delete all these things and tell English. So I'm double checking. We know that what is the prompt which we have given here. Let's minimize that. There's the food we served in our hotel. Oh, so I think there's a little bit of delta is there. Let's see whether the French version is it matching. So inputs I'm giving, and I'm asking it to translate it. So let me delete that. So this word also I have given so that it doesn't need to spend time on writing the translation. Directly it will start with that, and it is first translating into that. And oh, I could have taken that, copied it, and the English. Oh, I'm sorry. It should be in English. Could you please translate these things and the prompt where you want to start? Sometimes it gives this translation, and see, it's doing its level best, but end of the day, did the service we provided at the hotel on your satisfaction? Plus or minus, it is coming, but I'm good with it. I mean, still we have to train it. Now, what is this tokens? All the time when we are playing in this playground, we are seeing that 378 tokens or different tokens. What these tokens are? So tokens are very, very important thing. When you click on that, see this, our model understand, process the text. It's about all about the tokens, and based on the tokens, it will bill. The charge of every request will be based on the tokens. So what these tokens are, we will do a deep dive on that. Let's copy that link and let me come back here. Oh. Or else you can type OpenAI tokenizer. You type it, it will give you this, the tokenizer. So there is some algorithm behind this tokenizer. So if we come back to this one, this text, whatever we were trying, if you put that, so this token, they are charging us, number of characters is 16, but there are 17 tokens. There is some algorithm behind this which is calculating this. If you see a space and scale, totally there are 6 characters. It's considered as one token. And here alphabet A with a space is being calculated as another token. I really don't know what is the algorithm or the mechanism they use here. If you see that a single dot is considered as one token. So we can come back to our playground and paste it, and we see this 17 tokens. So this is also 17 tokens. Sometimes if you don't give any information and try these kind of things, so the OpenAI will use its own intelligence and give the output. See this, we didn't ask it proper prompting. It's my mistake that I didn't ask what should it do with this. I just wrote some sentence and said that generate the output. So I would rate my overall satisfaction at an 8 out of 10. See this, it's uh, behaving like a human. Like if you ask your friend on a scale, what is your satisfaction? So I didn't ask it to do a translation, or I didn't ask for the word count. Just I throw a sentence. So using its intelligence, it says that I would give an 8 out of 10. Like you're asking your friend, hey, how did you like it? He'll say that, okay, whatever, I'll give 5 or 6 or 10. That's what same this guy is doing now. AI is doing. Now, if you say that fruit juice, I'm very bad in spelling. So we just throw fruit juice. We're not asking anything. So it's giving some information. Okay. So let's see this. Now we'll discuss another way to do it. Okay. It stopped it because it hit the max tokens. 103. We said 100, but it stopped at 103. So if I copy this and go back to the tokenizer and paste it here, exactly it says 103. And to know the breakup, you can come in here. So the first alphabet F, it has considered it as one token. So you can come to the tokenizer to validate this one. And now if I remove that again, I'm saying that it was giving a big paragraph. Now see this. I throw a simple sentence and I'm being a little bit more specific or giving it a little bit more information. I mean, this we will discuss in the third session when we are doing the prompt engineering. There's a lot of content I piled it up. We will do there. But if you see, when I say that, that's the query and this answer. Now I say that give it in 2 sentences. Let me, it's already 20 tokens. And if it is not hitting the, okay, that's fair enough. So see this, in this process, we saw that the same query about the fruit juice, we got 3 different answers. So I can't tell that the third answer is wrong, second answer is wrong, or first answer is wrong. It has been trained with tons and tons of content. Now we have to ask it. Now if I say fruit juice, we saw that it gave 3 to 4 lines. Now then I said that, hey query, give me in single sentence. It gave it. Now I said that answer. So it understood that after answer it has to write it. So it's the way we have to understand. Assume that this OpenAI is our friend. Newly we created friendship with it. We need to start understanding that guy, OpenAI, and he will understand us. So that's the process. So let's go to the next step. Tokenizer is very, very important. And before that, what is the max token? The pricing, other things is based on that. Here itself, we need to know that. Concepts. It's not the prompt engineering. Yeah, this is very, very important in this one. So each of the each of the model, they definitely have their own um, they definitely have their own limits, like how much of tokens they can support. Okay, we need to understand Azure OpenAI model token limits. So is this is what is very important. I was looking at this one. So based on the previous models, here you see this one. So based on that, how many tokens is the cutoff? We definitely need to know that. So what is that we are using is we are using text DaVinci 003. So based on that, we need to plan our interaction with this open API. Imagine a scenario where you're giving a big article to summarize, and that article has got 50,000 tokens. Assume that we put it in the tokenizer and we found the content itself is coming to 50,000 tokens. Now, how do we do that? So we need to split it up enough way and give it in bits and pieces and say that summarize it now, or different ways. I mean, that all comes as part of the prompt engineering, but I'm telling you a scenario where every model has got the limit, the max tokens. So the token, whatever we are seeing, is the combination of the prompt and the completion, and the sum up of this prompt and completion is what we are going to be charged. So here the studio, everything is abstracted. We are not seeing all this here, but behind the scenes we'll see that 5 minutes, 2 minutes from now we'll start playing around the Postman. At least we'll spend 7 minutes here. So, oh, we have 10 more minutes to play. We have a lot of things. So we need to understand that what is that it's going to do. Okay. So we will see one more thing. If I come in here and I'll say that, please tell me two jokes on software engineering. So it's trying jokes. Okay. How many software engineers does it take to change a light bulb? None. It's a hardware problem. It's really a joke. So uh, now if you see that it's totally 72 tokens. Now we remember these jokes. So output also I'm giving it. And now I'm asking it to regenerate. I'm generating. Now this time it is giving me a different joke. So that's because of this temperature. I told that we'll hold on speaking on this one. Temperature. If the temperature is 1, that means the randomness. So that particular parameter will control the randomness, like how imagination you want, like increase adjusting this one. So whether you want the same repetitive output or you want that to go and stretches its wings to give you a random or a different response. We would love different response. At some time we want 0, the same jokes. Let's try those. Tell me a joke on innocent people. Okay. I'm asking it to tell me a joke on innocent people. And I tried it both the way. Tell me a joke on innocent people and tell me a joke on intelligent people. One of the joke which I liked was uh, when an innocent people see a wet paint, they will try to dry up. So that was a joke. And the same joke I asked, tell me a joke on intelligent people. Then it told me when intelligent people read that wet paint, they will just read and walk. So that truly it is working through its imagination. So we saw that why did an innocent person cross the road? Because he didn't know anything wrong. I didn't understand. Let's try. Now the temperature is zero. It's giving the same joke again. Now let's make it to point 0.5 and try this. So you need some kind of different imaginations. That's the combination. I can't tell you that zero point 0.2 minutes it will do this, it will do this, but we have to try that. I always love to be this one. Okay, so let's see on. So tell me a joke on intelligent people. So it tries. Okay, I already did tell them a joke they already heard. Ooh, I didn't know this. Okay, we'll stop there. So we spoke. Let's come back here and see that what did we cover? We covered what is OpenAI and Azure OpenAI, and we saw that under cognitive services, how do we create the Azure OpenAI services, and then how do you deploy the models, and at least at a 60,000 to 90,000 foot view, we saw that what AI, ML, deep learning, and models are. And then we deployed a couple of models and we tried different prompts in two different models. Each model will behave differently because based on the information it was trained. So if there are two athletes, one athlete is given all junk food, other athlete is given the proteins and vegetables, milkshakes, and all those things. So the body, how it behaves is different, and the strength and the way they handle their everyday work might be different. So that's how do you feed and train these models? It will make a difference. And we saw one thing about the max tokens, which will drive how much output you want. And we saw temperature where you can adjust so that you'll have the randomness. We saw this, and we played with the examples as well as our own these things, and we did a deep dive on tokens also. Okay, now let's spend some things the same here. This input, whatever is coming here, we can come back here. So if you see this is the URL. We'll do coding in the next session, but I just want to show you the API URL, the completion model, and the API version is here. So here, what we can do is I'm tell me two jokes on software engineers, and the temperature is 1, and it gives us two jokes here. So I don't need to come to the Azure Studio to do it. If I have the keys and other information, I can very well do it from here. So here the stop reason, you see this, the prompt tokens. What was a prompt? This was a prompt. So if you see, if you just see the prompt, I can use the tokenizer tool pretty handy. So that's 10 tokens. So the prompt is 10 tokens. And the output is 55 tokens, total of 60 tokens. And if I want 10 jokes, I can tell I need 10 jokes. And it is creating the 10 jokes. And see this, the finish reason, here it says that length. When I told that I need 2 jokes, and when I hit it in the Postman, the finish reason is stop. That means I have completed my job. That means all is well. You gave me a prompt, I give you an output. Now, if I am asking it that I need 10 jokes, I said the max tokens is 180, the cap is 180, and randomness, and it has created how many? 6 or 7, 8 jokes. It started the eighth one and it stopped. So that's about the length. It's now it says that the tokens, you see this, the max tokens is 180. So the prompt was 10, the completion tokens is 180, and it said that boss, I'm done. So it says that I'm finishing or I'm stopping giving you the output because I have already hit the limit. Okay. And another thing is I can come in here, coming back to 2 jokes, and I'm asking to create best of. And this is like we are asking it to give me a best jokes. So that means I said best of 2. That means I already told give me 2 jokes, and we are asking that out of the jokes which you can create 2 sets and give me 1 set. So that means we are going to be charged for the entire content, not for the 2 jokes. We are going to be charged for 4 jokes, the tokens. Let's see that. So if you see that here, this 116 tokens is for 1 set. We said that best of 2. That means it created 2 sets. That means we'll be charged for 250, around 200 plus for sure, 230, 32. But I'm a little weak in maths also. Totally, I'm weak in studies. Okay, so we are being charged for 2 sets. So we said best of 2. If I say best of 10, so it creates 10 sets of jokes and give me 1 set as an output. So be very careful when you're doing best of. So it's giving the best jokes. Happy. So why do we need this? Is one of the scenario here. So input, what I'm telling is craft a playful and mouth-watering Twitter caption to promote our dosa center, which makes 100 types of dosas with homemade spices, organic paneer and butter. I mean, for people internationally who might view this video, dosa is similar to pancake. Okay, so here, see this, I said N. So this is like I'm being charged like anything. So I said that I need 2 captions. So for that 2 captions, I'm asking it to create a 5 sets. Create 5 sets of two captions and give me a set. And this is, I'm going to be charged like anything. So see this. So how much we have been charged. This is for a set. Now we created 5 sets. So around 1000 plus tokens I'm being charged. So see, the caption is so good, you know. It says that this is the output. It says that 100 types of delicious dosas made with homemade spices, organic paneer and butter. Come to our dosa center and tantalize your taste buds. Hashtag dosa center, delicious dosas, homemade spices, organic paneer and butter. Seriously. And here also you see, satisfy your carving with our 100 types of delicious dosas. See the hashtags it creates and the ideas it is generating. Now I want 20 different ideas or 5 different ideas. Anyways, I'm being charged. Now on this different types. Now it's giving 5 different types. I mean, the flip side is now each of this is being charged, and this max token is for one set. Okay, so we are being charged for that, and we got 5 different output. What was this I created for? Oh, okay. See this. We can ask multiple questions within the same, like I said, inputs, and it's going and generating the list of states. Okay. So one thing I wanted to show you back in Studio input. I'm asking one question and I'm asking another question. Prompt engineering, we'll do it in third session. Next session, we'll focus on coding. How do you do that with Python notebooks and Python, and we'll see that. Are we hitting the limit? Okay. Now let me bump up this to 300 and let me ask this. And another thing which we'll be focusing on the third session is based on our prompts, we can adjust the output. We'll see a few other things. Okay, we'll do a recap in a minute. First, we'll see this output. So there you go, 256. And I've asked list of states in India. So it gave that. And alphabetically organized. And best places to for the vacation in Kerala. So it gave those inputs like 265 tokens. So most probably the stop reason should be stop, not length, because it's within this thing. So that is what I have piled up. So let's quickly do a recap on what all things we did it. So we came to cognitive service. We saw that different things over here, and we can create from the Azure OpenAI service. We can create it from the overview pane, or we can come back to the left nav Azure OpenAI and click on create. And once you click on that, this is how it looks. And we didn't get into any of the menu option directly. We went into explore. Okay, again, develop and other things which we can see. But for next two sessions, we'll focus only on the studio and programming languages. And then we came back here and we understood what type of models are there and how can we deploy. And we spoke about the limits, what are some of the limits, and we did a deep dive on tokens, and we are being charged for the tokens. Then we came here and we saw that different deployment models, different models will give different output for the same question or same input. So it's not that one is wrong and one is right. It's the way we answered and the input which was given and trained. Okay, so you go for a fight. How do you defend? The way your guru has trained you on all the kicks, punches, and non-chalks and all the weapons to use it. If you're not trained, you'll be beaten up black and blue. So similarly, different models has been trained with different inputs. And max tokens is what we discussed, and that plays a very important role. And the temperature we discussed, and we tried a couple of things here. And we spoke about stop reason. The finish reason should be stop. If it is anything other than stop, means there was some issue. The stop is the positive one. And we saw the temperature, and we saw best of is like it's creating different sets. Ensure that the max token is for one thing, not for n number. You say best of 10. So you say max token is 180. 180 is for one. You said give me 10 sets. You'll be charged 180 into 10, 1800 tokens. Okay. And the same thing you can ask in a different way. I can tell it craft this Twitter post, 10 Twitter posts, or I can say n equal to 10. Either ways. But I will feel this keeping that separate from the input. If someone wants, assume that we have exposed an API and we will give them the Twitter post, they'll give the scenario. This is what is my scenario. And they'll say that I want 10. Someone will say I want 20. So instead of asking them to embed inside the input, we can say that give me the input and give me how many posts you want. API, let's assume that I exposed an API in C Sharp, a minimal API, and you give me a prompt and you want n, and I internally go and speak to the Open API through this models, and I'll give you that. So the here you see an important role of n, not embedding that within the input. We are saying that give me the input and tell me that how many things you want. For each of that tag or the punchline which I'm giving you, I'll charge 50 pies or 1 cent or 2 cents, whatever it is. I'm not talking about the financials, but I'll be charging based on 1 unit or 2 units. You give me that. So this makes our life very easy to take the input, embed it as part of the prompt, and embed n. So what's next? Next is definitely rest. Apart from rest, the next session is we will be speaking. Just now we spoke everything on the studio. Now let's try that. How do we do these completions? The Postman we have seen to a decent extent, but I will speak about the Postman collection and we'll create a Python notebook and we'll create virtual environments and run the same example. And then we'll create a .NET 7 or .NET 8. No one will stop us using .NET 8. So we'll use .NET 7 or .NET 8 to create a simple console application and try our own completion. I'll get different prompts. So that's it for this session. And Rashmita?
Thank you. Swami, do you want to take? I mean, I'm not sure if answered the questions, but in the meantime, you can just have a look in the
Yeah,
chat.
sure. Sure, sure.
And I mean, if you have covered, then I think we are good. If not, then we just have another couple of
We can take,
minutes.
I'll just take a look at
Maybe,
it right now.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, sure.
2 minutes, guys. Shipper, why it sounds like you are in a restaurant? Okay, Farid, I'm not sure about that. If not approved enterprise customer, then how you create Azure OpenAI Service? Azure OpenAI Service requests the registration form from enterprise customers. Oh, there is a link if you want to ask it. Um, that request form is also there on the Azure OpenAI form itself. So that's where you can go and request it. Okay, so go to that Azure OpenAI Service documentation, and inside that you have Azure OpenAI FAQs, and just post it. Or else, if you have the Azure subscription, you can ask, create a support ticket, and they'll get back to you. Sridevi, Satish Kumar, Sridevi. Okay, only there were two questions, and I think Farid. Uh, yeah.
Great. I think if we don't have any other question, we can end the session for today. And if folks you have any follow-up question, please feel free to reach out to Swami. His
Sure.
handles are already there on the meetup page. Thank you once again, Swami, for an amazing session, and thank you all for joining us today. Please do visit our Microsoft Reactor website for more upcoming session. I've already shared the link in the chat section. Thank you all once again, and enjoy the rest of your day.